Hello folks, my name is Aaron Poe. I'm the coordinator for a partnership called the Aleutian and Bering Sea Initiative, and I'm talking to you on a beautiful fall day here from the traditional and continuing homelands of the Dena'ina people in Anchorage. I want to share a little bit about the effort. The Aleutian and Bering Sea Initiative is essentially a partnership made up of agencies, tribes, nonprofits, and academics that are trying to come together and really help each other work in collaboration as we address the rapid changes that we're seeing in the parts of the Aleutians and Bering Sea region. One of the projects that we have that I want to speak about in the context of the rapid sea ice loss that I know we've heard about already is basically folks have concerns about increased new vessel traffic into the region, particularly of the northern Bering Sea. But again, if you think about it, all that traffic has to come through the southern Bering Sea to get there. Or if it's coming in from the north, it could be potentially going out the south as well. So really that kind of increased traffic as a result of sea ice loss affects a lot of the coastal parts of Alaska. So we had a project with a bunch of different partners to basically put together a tool called a marine geofence as kind of like an early warning system, almost like a virtual fence, if you will, around areas that communities and agencies are concerned about potential impacts from this vessel traffic. And so for the rest of this video, you'll hear a little bit about how that works, and I hope to get a chance to answer some questions at the Coastal Communities Forum here in a bit.
Alaska has more coastline than the rest of the United States combined. Its productive waters are home to many iconic species. Its coasts have supported vibrant indigenous cultures for millennia, and Alaska's waters now produce the majority of U.S. seafood. Thousands of ships engaged in international trade transit Alaska's waters, presenting environmental risks. Large ships are required to carry AIS technology that monitors their location and activity in real time. Vessel speed and location are transmitted via AIS to shore-based receivers and computer stations where compliance with risk mitigation and environmental protection measures can be monitored. Geofences can be established around sensitive areas to monitor vessel activity using AIS data 24 hours a day. These can be programmed to trigger alerts when vessels enter the geofence area or exceed speed restrictions within it. Dynamic geofences can help keep vessels a safe distance away from each other during sensitive operations, like when tankers transfer fuel to the barges that support Alaska's isolated communities. Geofences can also be established to aid search and rescue, oil spill response, prevent disturbance of subsistence activities, and protect sensitive habitats. This new application of an emerging vessel technology will help ensure safe and environmentally sound maritime operations in Alaska.
So Aaron here again, and just quickly I want to show you my title slide, Helping Tribes Document Vessel Traffic in the Increasingly Ice-Free Alaska Marine Waters. And a little bit more about the Aleutian Bering Sea Initiative. I just wanted to share it is directed by a steering committee full of a group of fine folks. A number of those names probably look familiar to people that are at this forum. Anyways, I'd encourage you to pause that and take a look. I also wanted to share that we had an awesome project team around this. Hats off particularly to the Marine Exchange of Alaska that actually provided the technology that really allowed this marine geofence tool to work. We also had an excellent advisory committee. Again, to acknowledge a particular group there, the Aleutian community of St. Paul Island was really instrumental in helping this project go, and actually they piloted the first use of this tool. So just a little bit more you saw in the video, but I want to just kind of share these three components. This is an example of some geofences that the Fish and Wildlife Service set up around walrus. Through their filters, they basically didn't filter anything. They wanted to have any kind of ship doing anything in those areas be detected. And they had zones that they defined around walrus haulouts, and then they received text messages as well as monthly summaries of vessel traffic around their haulouts. Here's another example that the native village of Diomede put in place. I worked with Okbik Akinga, who's the tribal environmental coordinator up there. Folks might know her. But anyhow, their community is in the midst of the Bering Sea. There's Diomede right there. And they basically were interested in understanding about vessel traffic in two areas. This area to the east side is an important harvest area for them. And this area to the west side, they basically were just interested in wanting to know what's going on the Russian side of the Bering Strait there. Here's an example of the types of information that get returned. Kind of looks like a plate of spaghetti. I hear you there. But as you look at it a little more carefully, you can start to see some of the patterns in the different vessel types there, for example. On the western unit that they put in place, you can, again, look at the traffic coming through that Russian side, particularly, for example, the tanker traffic there in that center corridor. It also returns this kind of numbers by week or by month type results too. This kind of tabular data is another product that can come from the tool. And now we're going to jump over to the website, alaskageofence.org, and I'll show you how it works there. Okay, so here we are at alaskageofence.org, and we're just going to click on Create a Geofence. This pulls up some basic information here. We're just going to have it auto quickly populate my name. So Aaron Poe, and then my email is a really important piece of information there. In this case, we're just going to have it do an alert. You can have it do reports as well. And then we're going to have it do create a custom geofence. You can also upload, if you're a GIS kind of specialist, you can upload shape files in that create your sort of geofence zone. But in this case, we're going to create a custom geofence. Again, we're going to do this by drawing. I'll literally show you here right on the screen. And so it comes up with this handy map of Alaska, and you can pan over. Let's see, we're in the Aleutians today. So let's zoom in on somewhere that might make sense. Say Unalaska Island here, we're getting closer. And say, for example, you wanted to know something about Beaver Inlet. You wanted to know vessel traffic coming into Beaver Inlet here. So you could actually do a geofence just by clicking on the screen, literally making these little dots appear, come it back up to here and reconnect it. There, you have created a geofence. So now you have the zone defined. You can go in here. There's some different filters. There's actually a whole bunch of these, I have to say. Most people, like the example from Diomede, they just wanted to know all vessel types. Same with the walrus ones. You can actually ask for specific vessels if you want. For AIS type, just so that you maximize all the different units that you might have it there, I usually just click both. Again, you can choose different behaviors that vessels might be doing, but we're just going to say any vessel doing anything we want to know about. You can look at speeds, you can look at sizes of vessels, and then you want to put in an email address for the alerts to go to. So we'll do mine again, conservation.org, if I can type. And you can also put in a cell phone number if you wanted it to send text messages. We'll say, gosh, maybe we want to start this on November 10th. And maybe we want it to go off on December 10th. We'll do a month worth of monitoring here. You can put in any notes. I'm just going to tell them this is a test, so they don't actually create this geofence. And then we're going to click Submit Geofence. And you're done. So as you saw there, the tool is pretty simple to use to put one of these marine geofences in place. That said, if you have any questions or you have some ideas about the project that you want to get in touch with me about, you can see my contact information there is at the bottom of the slide. I also wanted to point out that the Aleut community of St. Paul Island does have funding to support getting tribes up and running with this tool. So if you have some interest in getting some of these in place, you could contact Chris Tran with St. Paul, and he can do some assistance for you there. Lastly, I just want to emphasize this is a free tool that's currently available based on the grant funding that we have. It's available to tribes, it's available to state and federal agencies, it's available to municipalities or borough government as well. We had to limit it a little bit just based on the funding. Anyhow, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share this with you, and please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.